I am resident of color for YouTube. Joel Says this, my buddy Patrick McCray is my buddy Alvin Gallant. We're here to review Superman Returns, directed by Brian Sinner, Mike, screenplay by Michael Dougherty,
Oh,
Dan
yeah.
Harris, screenplay by Brian Sinner, Michael Dougherty, uh, Dan Harris also. Produced by John Peters, Brian Sinner,
Yes,
Gilbert
the
Adler.
infamous John Peters.
Jo- Gilbert Adler is also one of your producers here. Cinematographer is Newton Thomas Siegel. Music by John Oatman. Uh, Release dates June 21st, 2006, Los Angeles. June 28th, 2006, United States.
For some
Budget
reason, I
20.
thought this was earlier. I thought it was much
Uh,
in the summer.
Six. It
Oh.
is.
yeah, I actually thought this came out in May. I guess I was wrong. Uh,
You know what? I don't know if you're wrong. I thought it came out in May also, because I think I was still in school when it came out. I smell a phony baloney.
Yeah, this is sort of weird because I remember seeing this movie in like mid-May, but again, that was way back when, '06.
Big tentpole releases of that summer. This was one of the let's get it out before school is over, so we have school networking. So
Yeah,
talk about it.
I think so. I smell something fishy here myself. Budget 223 million gross, 204 million net. That was budget. Box office 391.1 million dollars. So that's a lot of money. Guys, when did you first see Superman Returns, Patrick?
Well, I thought in May of 2006.
Me too.
Yeah, I saw it opening day. I was really looking forward to it. Um, I don't know if it gave me exactly what I wanted at the time. We'll get into that later. But I have been a huge advocate of this movie, and one of the things I think is interesting about this film that's worth talking about is that when did Batman Begins come out?
Hmm. I think that was some time before.
I think so too, but
'05.
05. Okay, so this
Yeah.
was already in production by the time that came out.
Oh yeah.
Batman Begins. This for me heralded the end of the grown-up superhero movie, where including James Bond, suddenly they were all kids, and I don't know how I feel about that. At least it would seem that way for a long time.
Hmm.
So this I kind of have nostalgia for because of its large grown-up population. Even though Brandon Routh does not look that old, he looks pretty youthful.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah.
Here. The interesting thing about this movie, of course, is it is a continuation of the first series, midway through the first series, not the entirety of it, because they wisely decided that 3 and 4 would have been a distraction to try to try
Yeah.
to stitch together the story from all of them.
I don't know. Do we even know if the Kryptonian villains had appeared?
Yes, in 2 they do. They're
Well, yeah, but I mean, in this continuity.
in this continuity. They don't. The Kryptonian villains don't appear until much later, when General Zod and his minions appear. And
Now, do you put this in the same continuity as Man of Steel?
yeah,
You do.
I think so. I mean, at least there's some continuity there. I'm not. This movie really is, for me, it's sort of it kind of fully packages it from the first set, and I think it was designed to do that. And then anything else that was done that connected to the first 2 movies was sort of an add-on for me. It was nice, to have Zod come and be a supervillain and all of that sort of thing. I think they went a little too far with destroying half the cities of the world. I mean, it
I
was
have not seen it.
they
That movie's going to be new to me.
they there's a lot of action, a lot of destructive action in that movie. But yeah, this movie for me kind of is a full circle movie in a lot of ways. it does so closely, emotionally, it closely ties to Chris Reeve for me. And I think it's intended. It intends to, in some ways. Kate Bosworth is not my favorite Lois Lane, but she's a good one. I like her. She's a likable person, and also the idea that there's something between them, and it's not going away, and he's a nice guy. That whole aspect of it was. This is very much an adult superhero movie with the relationships and the complexities of them.
Did you see Superman and Lois?
I have not, I don't believe. No, I don't think I have.
Really good. It's the most recent TV series, and I think it ended.
Okay.
It did 2 or 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It is wildly mature.
Good.
And the guy in that, who I believe was the Superman in Supergirl,
mm-hmm.
is fantastic. Steve Shives put it really well, where he said the thing that makes him such a good Superman is that he gives a shit about people.
Right.
And I hear maybe the Henry Cavill versions don't have all of that quite as much.
No, he has a moral compass, but it's a little more isolated than that. Yeah. It's hard to describe. Cavill, I like Cavill. I do. I like what he does. I thought he got a raw deal after Black Adam, but
was he? I saw part of Black Adam, but I never finished it. What happened?
He's in the last scene. He's in the credits scene in Black Adam.
How did he get a raw deal?
Yeah, because he was supposed to be in a sequel. They were going to develop something with Black Adam and Superman, and he was supposed to be
Superman.
The Superman that continued. And that never happened because there was a regime change and a directorial change, and the whole thing went.
Instead of The Rock, if they had Waylon Flowers, would it have been Black Madam?
Black Madam.
Tell me you wouldn't have seen that movie.
It would have been it would have been Black Negligee and Madam.
All right, yeah.
Ultimately, Warner Brothers wasted that guy's time. I mean, really, is what
they wasted that whole arc.
Waylon Flowers?
He killed it.
No.
Yes.
Waylon Flowers.
Because they had the whole thing. The director's cut or actually, I kind of, a lot of people crapped on it, but I kind of liked Batman versus Superman. I didn't mind Ben Affleck as Batman. He's a very
mature, good Batman.
Yeah, he's a very thick. He's sort of one of those '90s versions of Batman. He's older and he's thicker, and and he's got more technology, and he's
he's grown up to be John Beck.
Yeah, something like that.
Older and thicker, and
yeah. But and again, he got used again in the Justice League, which unfortunately was sort of butchered. The director's cut is better, but it was too late by the time they got that out.
It is the Night of Dark Shadows of the Snipers.
In my opinion, I don't care how long the recut version of Night of Dark Shadows is. I just don't think it's going to do anything but disappoint a lot of people. That's my take on it. I don't believe it was a masterpiece.
No.
I don't. Because it was so hastily written to begin with. It was so.
It's a good ghost story.
It had to be rewritten because Fred wasn't going to be a part of it, and it had to be done like yesterday.
It's a good ghost story.
It is a good ghost story, but it's not a masterpiece.
Right.
I mean, it has a potential for being a good ghost story. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's certain characters in it I really enjoyed. Obviously, Carlin. Obviously, Barrett. In particular, I really like that. Lara doesn't have enough to do. Um, there's huge potential in what Grayson was doing. But
Sam,
again,
Saint Sam, please plug your ears wherever you are, up there or down there, wherever. Is he okay?
do you light your hookah with his lighter by any chance?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't get it to light. Saint Sam, it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
No, it doesn't. I'm sorry, and I don't think that. I mean, maybe the expansion will be interesting, and it probably will be.
Star Trek: The Motion Picture,
but I don't think it's going to turn it into a masterpiece. You know, and I applaud Mr. Gross for
yes,
this huge amount of work that he's done to do this, and I think it should be brought out. I think people should judge for themselves. My feeling is that it's just going to be longer. It's just going to be longer.
Yeah, some movies are not healed by being made longer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the Judas Booth cut of Dune, for example. I mean,
I never got into Dune anyway.
God, I love that Lynch movie.
I never.
All-time favorite.
I mean, all due respect to Lynch, but I think it's just the idea, the milieu, the world of Dune that I'm not real big on.
I guess for whatever reason, the Lynch version of it worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever that's good for.
But anyway, back to
cuts
that have been slaughtered. I think that Justice League was definitely one of those that suffered badly from being cut poorly and sort of redone according to the tastes of whomever. But yeah, I like this movie a lot. I really do. It just hits me in the feels in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I know that it has to do with the Chris Reeve stuff that's going on in this film.
And of course, Kevin Spacey's rapport with the boy is right on the money.
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry.
Rapport with the boy. Spacey actually does a good job as Luthor in this film. I like him. I like his performance. I don't like him, but I like his performance. And also Parker Posey is fantastic.
I was about to say I have sort of mixed feelings about Parker Posey.
Well, her character has mixed feelings throughout the entire
film. I like. No, that's classic Eve Teschmacher stuff.
Yeah.
This is a phrase I just hate to use and know that I use it with both men and women, but it was coined with women, and that's RBF. Resting bitch face.
Mm-hmm.
And Parker Posey has a bad case of it.
She does. That's why I really enjoyed her as Dr. Smith.
I was about to say, that's what made her a great Dr. Smith.
Yeah, she was fabulous in that. I
thought you're just desperate for a smile. You're desperate for her to do anything other than...
because she has a beautiful face, for one thing.
Oh God, she's gorgeous.
But I still enjoy her in this film because I think she's really she's doing things, the subtleties that she's doing and the way that she's conflicted and all of that sort of stuff is classic Parker Posey, and she's very good at it.
It does work. It does work. I guess I just find Valerie Perrine more likable.
Well, of course, she's sweet and petunia marshmallowy, and Parker is angular and
she's very angular
and a bit acerbic, and so the soft parts of her are harder to find sometimes from the onlooker's point of view, but they're there.
When I first heard the casting, back when I paid attention to Hollywood news, and you would just get little snippets of it. And In It Cool or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It just listed her as being in the cast.
Right.
And I was over the moon because you can imagine who I thought she was going to be playing. Perry White. No, yeah. I thought she'd be playing Lois Lane.
Lois Lane, yeah.
I think she would be an outstanding Lois Lane. I think she's incredible as a successor to Valerie Perrine.
You mean Margot Kidder? Yeah.
Damn it! I get Valerie Perrine on the brain.
It's okay.
Margot Kidder. Yeah. I think she would have really captured that Kidder-esque energy. And I think they made it. It's kind of like in when I look at Beetlejuice and I think about a Warner's executive seeing it and getting really excited and saying, Tim, Beetlejuice, we loved it. What the hell? We're going to give you Batman. And that guy is in Beetlejuice? Perfect for Batman. Hire him. It must be dry. Hire him. And so Tim bewilderedly hires Michael Keaton. And it's only after their introduction for about a month, and that executive comes back from Bermuda and says,
what did you do?
Baldwin, you idiot! Alec Baldwin.
Well, keep in mind
that's how fans viewed Michael Keaton anyway before they actually saw him in the movie.
Well, I still think Baldwin would have been better.
Well, I don't know. I liked him as the Shadow for sure. I thought he was pretty
Well,
cool.
about that. Yes, that movie was, even though that movie was written for him, the part was written for him for the Shadow. Do you know who they reached out to initially?
Which movie?
For the Shadow.
Danny DeVito.
Jeremy Irons.
Oh my God!
And the reason he told them no, he couldn't do it because he was recording his voiceover for Scar for The Lion King. So he couldn't do it. But
Jeremy Irons at that point, because Jeremy has two careers. He has everything up to Dungeons and Dragons and everything after it.
Mm-hmm.
And up to Dungeons and Dragons, Jeremy was a snob. Justifiably. He was a stage actor and he was a snob and he was not going to do that sort of thing.
Right.
A long conversation with a guy who directed him in Richard II about Jeremy Irons' Sherlock Holmes. Because sometimes I would just refer to Sherlock Holmes as Jeremy Irons. It just seems so perfect. And then you get Bob Hoskins as Watson.
Yeah.
You know, what a duo. How amazing that was.
Yeah, Bob Hoskins would make a great Watson.
But my pal said, oh, Irons would never do it. He'd never play Sherlock Holmes. Never. I guess because it was slumming it. That's how it was seen. So
yeah, people get different perspectives.
Well, also they have financial needs.
Mm-hmm. Larry Olivier.
Very well. I mean, you know, I don't think Harold Pinter's warming up the typewriter to do Betrayal Part 2. So, you know, there we go.
Yeah.
I saw this movie in theaters. This movie, Superman Returns, with my brother, my late brother. I enjoyed this. Now, this to me is a retcon. They retcon. They take the first movie that I saw and they retcon the rest of the movies. I don't think.
Yeah, they did. They particularly got rid of 3 and 4.
Yeah, 3 and 4.
3 and 4 don't exist in this universe.
Well, what I'll say is when I watched the movie, I guess their acknowledgement of Part 2 is him going to going to the thing.
Yes.
Is going to the Fortress of Solitude.
Right.
So that's them in a sense acknowledging the first 2 films.
But it's true. The second film doesn't get a lot because we're not exposed. We're not even referring to Zod and his gang.
Right.
Like
so
that.
they don't acknowledge Zod, but they do acknowledge the first 2 films in that sense.
Yeah.
So before Halloween hit the red call button, Superman hit it first, bitch.
Yes.
That's to the Halloween fans. That's still a lot of fun. But this movie is actually very entertaining. I enjoyed Brandon Routh's performance. He does look like Christopher Reeve for sure.
He does, especially in the first 15 minutes of the film. Mm-hmm. Holy crap, the angles they shoot him at and everything else.
But I do like what he does. He adds his own style here. He doesn't portray it the Reeve way. He does it his own way.
Yeah, he did. He's not. It's not an aping performance at all. It's just that his physical similarity is striking.
Yeah. I like how he does things because he's very soft spoken, even as Superman. Reeve was too.
Yes.
But what I really love, and I wish they had got more time in the film together, is his scenes with Spacey as Luthor is really good. Really, really good. I love Spacey and the girl's name. I'm trying to think of her name.
Kate Bosworth.
Yeah, Kate Bosworth as Lois Lane. James Marsden in this movie. I like him, but it's a come on. Frank
The singer
Langella as
company.
Yeah.
Frank Langella as Perry White was amazing. That was
Langella is great. He's a great actor. He's a
yeah.
fabulous actor.
You have Eva Marie Saint as Clark's mother.
That was a great small cameo role.
Yeah, great, great
Fabulous.
spot. And then Kevin Spacey talked about that. He said he was excited that Eva Marie Saint had gotten
Well,
cast.
she's the goddess of the actor studio and all of that sort of stuff. Anybody that's into the method or into the mythos of it
Yeah.
knows who Eva Marie Saint is. And she
Yeah.
worked with Brando. Oh, we're not worthy. It's that kind of thing. So
And of course, the man on Lincoln's Nose, North by Northwest. Yeah.
See, I love Parker Posey here as the Miss Tessmacher because it's not quite our Miss Tessmacher from 1978. This is the I can be a bitch and I can be a snotty bitch at the same time.
This is for the new millennium.
Yeah, new millennium. You're right.
Sorry, Joel. The volume cut out on that. You said you could be a bitch or a naughty bitch.
Yes,
What?
yes. Well, it was that too.
I said she could. I said
She could.
I like her character. She can be a bitch or a snotty bitch,
You're
and
talking about
I
Eva
like
Marie
that.
Saint?
No, no, Parker
I'm just
Posey's
funning you. I'm
character.
just funning you, Joel.
Oh my God!
Ladies and gentlemen, we're witnessing the confusion of Patrick
Yes,
McCray.
yes. But Parker Posey does do a good job. Like Alan was saying, she's more here for the new millennium audience. In a lot of ways, she connects with the audience too, because I like how she smacks uh, Kevin Spacey's Lex Luthor. You cut the brakes. He goes, "Hey, Superman knows when someone's faking it, okay?"
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
such
that's the whole thing. Is she's edgier. So is Luthor.
Yep.
Luthor is definitely edgier, in a lot of ways, and he's more he's dark determination.
Yeah,
No cracking wise to speak
I
of.
would say
Kevin
this.
Spacey about done time.
I know it was probably in production by this point. I know Batman Begins was probably in production by this point.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie does not get enough credit for making a darker Superman. Man of Steel is going to get that credit, but this movie deserves that credit.
This movie deserves the credit for starting the process.
Yes.
I think. And a darker emotional life, emotional life that does not have a fairy tale ending, because he's Superman. How can he have a fairy tale ending with anybody? He's Superman. He's got all this other stuff he's got to deal with.
Yeah. What's you guys' favorite scenes in this movie?
I enjoyed. It's not just one scene; it's that whole arc where Superman's vulnerability, because they've created the islands of kryptonite, basically, and his vulnerability in that, and his being taken down, and then him being rescued by not only Lois but also by her husband, who is committed to that, even though he's like, there's a little jealousy going on there, but he's a decent, upstanding guy.
What a nice representation of men.
Yeah, and he's a mensch, just like Superman is, which is why she fell in love with him.
Yeah, it's salubrious masculinity rather than toxic.
Yes.
Really
and so that whole sequence from when he weakens and he's vulnerable and he gets the crap knocked out of him to them rescuing him, it's all very mortal. All of that's very mortal, but yet there's still heroism involved. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
Patrick?
The big Superman moments, the moments that we are counting on him to be Superman, and there's the sequence, the space shuttle sequence. I think is just brilliant. I think does a lot of different things all at once and does them really well.
Mm-hmm.
I really am very grateful to that sequence. Although it does feel like Kate Bosworth is a stand-in for another actor.
Huh.
Yeah, it's like, well, shouldn't this be Amy Adams or someone with a little more personality here? Shelley Long, what's she doing? Put her in this. Um, uh, yeah, I like that. I think, I don't get too caught up with the whole continuity issue. It's
Mm.
it is
It's just spice for me. It's
it
one
is
of
it
those.
is to me. This feels like a repertory theater had a really huge production that ran for 3 or 4 years every summer of Henry VI Part Two, and 30 years later they get together and they find some of the set pieces, not all of them, and some of the continuity that they were building, and not all of it. Richard has the same actor playing Gloucester.
And and Gloucester tells everybody else about the production, all the new actors about
Yeah,
what it was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like and all that stuff. Yeah.
And we kind of go along with it, and but it's clearly not the same,
Right.
and so I am pleased with the quotes and the echoes and the same universism. I think the thing that I would have done had I wanted to keep it at least a little bit more in universe is you got to make up your mind what the Daily Planet's going to look like.
Hmm.
Because if it does not look like a 70s office building, actually a late 60s office building, it's not the same Daily Planet. They're not going to go back and find some old Art Deco building to inhabit.
It's true. But
So
the one
that
thing, they did preserve the bullpen, which is the main floor with all the reporters on it and all
yes,
that.
but it set off my bullshit alarm.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that just took me out of it. And two, I would have made everyone older, just a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
just a little bit. I would have had them in their late 30s, at least,
Mm-hmm.
if not early 40s, and let it go with that.
Right.
I would have had Olson actually have some responsibilities. And
Right.
then,
Since we've had 5 years pass since Superman's left
yes,
Metropolis.
yes. So,
Another thing about Metropolis is it looks way too much like New York City in this movie.
and not nearly enough like London.
It does not look like Chicago at all. It doesn't
Oh,
have that look about it. It's
you're
it
right. And
it,
the Donner one does look like Chicago.
it does absolutely. This one, I mean, I love New York. I love the feel of New York,
But
but
it's
that's
not,
Gotham.
yeah, it's Gotham City. It is
Yeah.
Metropolis. Metropolis is
Right.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I would say that a lot of the actors who are here, I'm not saying they don't deserve to be here. They do. Kate Bosworth, I mean, she's coming off of Blue Crush. I mean, she appeals to a young teenage audience.
Cool.
She's only 22, 23 at this point.
Right. Yep. Parker Posey, again, appeals to a teenage audience. Kyle Penn, sorry,
Although
appeals
Parker
to a
Posey's
teenage
well
audience.
into her 30s by this time.
Yep, appeals to a teenage audience. And, the rest of the actors, I mean, Brandon Routh, no one's heard of him at this point in time, but people are going to hear about him after this.
Right.
He hasn't made Dylan Dog yet.
No, he had not. Good movie, by the way.
It is a good movie. Dylan Dog is a good movie.
It is.
Well,
My favorite scenes in this movie. I like everything Kevin Spacey does. I like everything Parker Posey does. But my favorite scene is the baseball stadium scene. It's really cool where he gets to put. Remember, flying is still the safest way to travel.
Yeah, which is that's an extraction from an earlier movie.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. That's a huge nod to
Yes.
earlier films. But yeah, I give this movie. I'll give it a 9, and the only reason I won't give it a 10 is its ending is very wishy washy. That's it. That's all I got.
It's kind of an adult ending though in a lot of ways because life is wishy washy that way. Life doesn't
that's
necessarily
true.
settle.
And they were thinking of sequel.
Yeah, they perhaps were, and in future movies they did use elements of continuation, but it was not.
In Superman and Lois, their kids are both in their late teens,
Mm-hmm.
and that's an important theme
Yeah.
for the plot. Superman and Lois is very good. I really encourage you to go watch it. It's just full of integrity. Very well done. Yeah.
And the fight with Doomsday in it is awesome. So there you go. It's better than the one in the movies.
So you've seen Superman and Lois.
Yes.
Did you
Yes,
like
I
it?
have. Yeah, it's fucking good.
It's great. It's great. That may be, outside of Christopher Reeve, my favorite Superman portrayal.
The guy who plays Lex Luthor is really evil too.
Yes, he is.
He's fucking. He was, by the way, he was also on The Walking Dead as well. So there you go.
You know, there have been some really good Luthors through the years, really good ones. You know, just some atypical Luthors as well as typical,
Yeah, they really
bald-headed guy. You know, kind of.
I don't know if they've ever had the typical Luthor, who I think, because there are two Lex Luthors. There's super scientist Lex Luthor, who has an amazing purple outfit with the canister.
Yes,
I love that outfit. God damn, that's a good outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's mad billionaire Lex Luthor.
Yes.
The post Donald Trump 1986 Lex Luthor.
Luthor, who owns everything. Yeah,
I don't know. I kind of like the super scientist.
Yeah, I mean that's the original concept. Yeah. Is that he was as brilliant as Superman was gifted. You know, with superpowers, he had the superpower of intellect.
Well, were you in the episode? I think, Jewel, you were definitely where I talked about Silver Age Luthor's origin. Do you know about this? Where he was from Smallville?
Yeah, they grew up together.
They were
right?
friends.
Yeah.
They did it, science adventures and things like that. That's a whole series right there.
Mm-hmm.
And Lex Luthor is Smallville, and that he was creating some lab that was going to, or Superboy had created some lab for him to use that was really going to expand what he could do. But some chemicals caught fire. Of course, that's a terrible danger in the DC universe.
Mm-hmm.
And Superboy, there were all sorts of horrible fumes, and Superboy used his super breath to blow out the chemicals and blow them to Nebraska or something like that. And unfortunately, it blew Lex's hair with it.
Yes.
And not just his eyebrows, but all his hair. And so Lex swore revenge.
Yeah, that's right, for losing his hair. That's right. That's right.
I mean, Silver Age.
Yeah.
Was like my favorite Lois. Okay, now that I'm on a roll, my favorite Lois Lane comic. That's my Lois Lane, my favorite comic book character other than Ben Grimm of all time. And the greatest Lois Lane comic book. She comes to the Daily Planet one day with her dress and her pearls and her little gloves and all that, with a metal box on her head, and tries to play it off very nonchalant. And she got this metal box on her head, and basically, she was at a fair, and she saw a gypsy, and the gypsy said, "You will never have Superman." And Lois said something shitty to her. And so the gypsy says, "Lois Lane, because you are so catty, I curse you to have the head of a cat." And so Lois goes home, and she's got a giant cat head. When she looks, it's just
this was the 60s world of DC.
It should be body horror, but it's just
it's absurd, right?
It's absurd. It's like Master and Margarita or something.
Every Superman and Lois Lane had some predicament on the cover.
Oh, constantly
in those years.
Dialogue, you know.
Yeah.
And so she decides she'll play it off by just going to the Daily Planet with a big steel box on her head and hoping that someone will notice. Well, Superman uses his X-ray vision and sees his normal head, and she was just hypnotized by the gypsy to believe this. But this was right around the time there was a comic book where Lois became a werewolf.
Oh my God, I missed that one.
A daytime werewolf. It was great. It was so good. I mean, that's when comics were good.
Yeah.
What's happened to them?
I mean, I remember on the newsstand when I was really small, probably like 1965 or 66 or something like that, where there was one of Superman on the cover, and it's like, "Oh, this new Superman has taken my powers. I've been kicked out of the city." You know, it's like, what?
Every other issue was that.
Yeah.
One more. So Lois drinks some of Jimmy's elongated lad fluid.
Oh God,
Remember, Jimmy
elongated
was a
lad.
superhero. He was elongated.
Yes, he was.
And so she gains the powers for 24 hours. And she says, "Oh, but I don't have anything to wear." And Jimmy says, "Hold on." And goes to his closet and hands her something, and she tries it on. Now, Jimmy's costume of elongated lad was a drab green that said in black letters, elongated.
Elongated lad. Yes.
And you wouldn't forget who the stretchy guy is. Lois's says elongated lass, but at no point do we see Jimmy altering it. So does that mean Jimmy also had a costume in his closet that said elongated lass?
Not bad. Either that, or he had an old Polish lady from the garment district furiously.
I prefer that he had it, and he just elongated certain parts and
yes,
went out for a night on the town.
Sometimes he went out to the bucket of blood and did a little drag show with elongated glass.
He was there with Grant Douglas at the hi-hat lounge. Let's face it.
Yeah.
This is on. All right, Joel. When is the Man of Steel?
Tomorrow, if you want it to be.
Let's do it.
Man of Steel.
What do you give this movie? Scale 1 to 10.
Me? 9.
Yeah, I give it a 9. It's not the absolute best of the Superman series. Obviously, number 1 is a 10, and there are some others that I might think are at this level, 9, 10, and some that are not. But Man of Steel, I like. Some things about Man of Steel I love. The one thing that the technology was maturing in terms of the digital tech and everything else with Man of Steel, but it's you'll find out that it's dizzyingly violent.
That's what I've heard.
The destruction of property is amazing. It's like something out of an Avengers movie.
Yeah, it's very easy to calculate. There's a terrible loss to human life in the movie that Superman would never put up with.
Right.
That's not his.
Yeah, it is definitely. It's like they were trying. Hey, we're going to do what the Avengers did, kind of thing. Just destroy the city.
I'm a hero for that, but
kind of like. But there are some things that are really great about it too.
Okay.
You'll see an image of an interactive image of Jor-El. And some other cool stuff. And Lois, big time part of the adventure, big time, right in the middle of
it.
Yeah. So all of that's to the good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Link to Patrick McCray's Dark Shadows Daybook Triumph. It's going to be in the description box. Link to Alan Gallant's YouTube channel. Collins Sport After Dark is going to be in the description box. You guys have a safe night.
Goodbye.
Good